and today is November 30th, 2022, and we're here for live sewing chat. We're here from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. I think it's trying to hook up to my TV. We're not interested in that. Make sure this volume is down here. Hope you guys had a great week and a great week thus far. It's still saying upcoming and I'm live. Oh my goodness. I'm wondering if I went into the wrong one. Nope. It's just saying upcoming. Okay. I said a second live and I was thinking I went into the wrong one. It kept saying upcoming. I'm going to get out of here and come back into the chat. Just technical difficulty, guys. All right, back up to the top. We got Brenda Foley saying hello, tea and friends. Say trying to stay awake. Been a long day. Up early on weekdays. Yes. Selena Haffenden says hello to Brenda. Says it's 11 a.m. Thursday in Australia. So, hold on, something just dropped down, trying to make sure it's not important. It's gone. Okay, don't know what that was. Trying to make sure everything's working. Check this phone too, just to make sure. Okay. San Diego, good evening all, and good morning Australia. Deborah Sims Brown says good evening tea and everyone. I've had a busy 2 weeks, so yeah, I was wondering. I said I hadn't seen your name in a little bit. Vivian Calvi is here saying hi tea and everyone. Sheila Gage, hello. Hi tea and all quilters from Darcy Savali. Selena's talking to Brenda. Brenda's waving to everyone coming in. Remo JS says good evening Miss T and quilters. Thumbs up and subscribe so you can get your notifications. Yes, thank you Miss Remo. Appreciate that. Phyllis G is here saying hi tea and everyone. Bonita Nan says, hey everyone, while we're waiting for Miss T, give a thumbs up. Thank you for the reminder, Bonita. My brother Ray is here saying hi sis and everyone. Wash your hands says hi everyone. Zandra Odom saying hi tea and everyone. Luda saying hello everyone. Darcy is also reminding people of the same. To subscribe, I'll replace the pinned message since she's a little bit more detailed right now. Margaret Hessler says hi tea. Craft with Love 55 says greetings tea and everyone. Like so like that. Hello all. Leetta Bryant. Hello tea and tea quilters. And C Joy Creation saying hi everyone. Bonita says happy Wednesday. Judy. Hello tea and quilters. Sue GSD. Good evening from cold and windy St. Louis, Missouri. The dogs won today. She must be tired. Sheila Gage is saying the audio is very low. I don't have a control for the audio. So maybe you have to cut your device up. I don't know if everybody else is having that same effect. Please let me know. Shirley Peters saying hey tea and everyone. Deanne Palmer says hi everyone. Jason Lewis, good evening Miss T and all tea quilters. Happy Wednesday. Cynthia Shea, good evening to all from cold rainy city of Chicago. Beverly Aikens, hello tea and tea quilters. And Sue says her rent is paid. And she says I am. Okay. And Bonita saying she can hear me well. And Katie Crafts is here saying hello tea and all. So hello everybody. Hello. I've had one of those weeks where I planned what I was going to do. And impromptu things have like completely rearranged that. So I'm on other people's schedule right now. Just got things I gotta help people with, and so that's taking place Tuesday and tomorrow. So I've, had my week kind of messed up, and then I was thinking each day was only going to be a couple of hours, and it ended up being the majority of the day. Plus, I have to get up early both of those days when I'm normally the night owl and I sleep later. So it makes me tired when I go to bed late and have to get back up early. I can get up fine and I can function, but then the rest of the day is just a waste of time. I'm just mostly being a couch potato at that point. Brenda Foley says volume does seem low tonight. And Beb Dixon saying hello T and Teaquilters. Let me make sure. Yeah, I got my volume up full. So my volume is full on the screen. It's not flashing here. Make sure it's pushed in. Yeah, it's pushed all the way in. So maybe it's me. Maybe I'm just talking lower. I'll be trying. This mic normally blows people's eardrums out, so I'm a little bit confused. So I think I said Beb Dixon. Brenda says she tried to adjust her audio as well. Sue is also asking for prayers, please, for Kevin's family and also Kevin himself. He's having some back pain right now, so hopefully they'll figure it out. He is getting some adjustments and getting some medication, so hopefully everything will work. But you try to go through without having to take medications, and sometimes it just doesn't work. And he tried low level medications first, so he's like me. We both hate to take drugs. So, and Selena said that the volume is low for her as well. So I don't know what else to do. Hold on, guys. I'm just gonna see. You're all gonna get whoa. You're gonna be taken for a ride. So okay, so hopefully that is a little bit better. I've taken my charger off of the mic port. So yeah, a lot of people are saying that it's good for them. So people are sending their prayers for Kevin. So I really appreciate that. Linda Van says, hello all, actually got in on the live. Yes. And all right. So all right. So I really didn't have like an agenda today. So I'm gonna do some kind of wrap up things. I got a few things here that I just want to share. I do have a sewing room tour, but that was before 2020 when my room just became this complete hot mess. I've always had like organized chaos in my room. And right now I just feel like I can't function. I've had a couple of things that have happened, major things, well, probably 3 things major that has happened since 2020 other than COVID. And it has kind of affected my storage, organization. And that's a whole story in itself. But my room right now is almost dysfunctional for me. I can't even stand it, but there is nothing I can do about it right now because I have nowhere to put it right now. But I do have a video on sewing room tour. I have this room and I also have my long arm area. Thank you, Margaret. Lena Dean is here saying, good evening, Miss TNT Quilters. I made my December blocks and will mail them to your P.O. Box 38205. Yes, that's right. Zip code is 63138. Selena says, I love seeing sewing room tours, even the messy ones, laughing out loud. Yeah. I have organized chaos where just long as nobody else touches it, I know where it is. And I did that purposely because most sewing room tours that you see on YouTube, they're those big fancy rooms um, where people have huge houses. I have very small house. This room is like a 10 by 10. And I know some people have to sew on their kitchen or dining room tables. And so I wanted to show that not all rooms are neat and clean and spacious. So I did do a tour of my actual sewing room. Deanna says to you, welcome to my sewing world, laughing out loud. Right, organized chaos. Michelle the quilter says, whoa, a roller coaster, laughing out loud. Hi from rainy New York. Sounds fine now. Prayers for Kevin. Thank you, Michelle. Darcy says, does anyone have trouble figuring out which end is the salvage end of fat quarters? Um, no, because, well, technically the salvage should be denser feeling, because if they cut it across the fat quarter, it should, if it was cut on the fold, sometimes it'll curl in. And then other times it should be thinner on the long 22. When you go across to the other side of the 22, they should feel different. One should feel thicker, the other one should feel thinner because of the salvage. Um, Thanks, Selena. Maddie Barnum is here saying hello to you and everyone. Deborah Quilts is here saying hello to you and fellow quilters. Elaine Doucette is talking to Darcy. Bonita saying get well soon, Kevin. And Deanne is talking to um, Darcy. So they're talking about the salvage side, and she's saying just give it a tug, and then the other with the most stretch is not the salvage, right? That's correct. One end is fuzzy or has small holes. That's another way. Especially on solids, I can tell the right and wrong side of solids by the salvage holes, because most of them have those pin dot holes. I do know on batiks that is not true. I tend to use mine's almost all the way up through the salvage on my batiks, whatever I'm cutting, because you can't tell the difference from the right and wrong side. Sheila Willis is here saying, good evening to you and everyone. Oh, so Darcy had to shut down and restart. Okay, Darcy. Wash Your Hands says, my sewing room is a decent size, but it's still not enough room. I think we can all use more real estate. And this is my thing. When I first moved into this house, I had a room that was like 8 by 11 or something like that. And I had plenty of space in the room. And the more space you give crafters, the more space they're going to take up. That's my analogy. And it is just a hot mess right now. I'm trying to figure out some things, seeing what I can do and what I can't do. So I'm trying to work on something, but it's going to take a long time for that. But I'm trying to figure something else out. Zandra Odoms here says prayers go out to Kevin to get well soon. Thank you. And Brenda as well. Harriet Susan Franklin says, hello, everyone. Saying a double-sized garage would be okay. That's Wash Your Hands says. Tom Whittick Eckery saying, good evening, TNT Cultures. Hit that thumbs up button for our Miss T. Hello, Tom. See, you were having fun. Luda says, Miss T, I'll take scraps, laughing out loud. It's not even about the scraps. It's about, I just had, like I said, some major things happening. And one of them was that I had one of my quilting friends pass. Well, I had two actually quilting friends pass. And so then I got a few projects and things from that. And so, and even furniture, I've rearranged some furniture in another room. But when you just have so much that you already have, and then you're bringing in stuff, and then you don't really get stuff organized. And then I'm also increasing business interest in different things, and just don't ever have enough time when I'm the only one, running everything that I'm doing, and then trying to make sure I still have some pleasure sewing time as well, so I don't hate the quilting process. If I did all just business stuff, then it wouldn't be fun anymore. So Yeah, but it was just that was in 2021. I got through 2020 pretty easy, and then 2021 was just a hot mess of a year for me. And it seemed like everything just fell apart in 2021, where I had, assisting other family members in various things, friends passing. One of my best friends, her mom passed. She was in my wedding, and so I was helping with a lot of funeral services, helping with garage sales, and it was a lot. It was a lot mentally after I had already been in for a complete year, and then all of this stuff started happening. So, um, and I think it could be not necessarily depression, just a lack of motivation because of the year 2021. And I've been trying to make sure that I do some things in 2022. So I have been successful in keeping busy, but not necessarily doing everything that I should have been doing. And I'm easily distracted. That's the other thing. Very easily distracted. So that's kind of what's going on. And so I just refuse to tackle this room. It's just going to stay how it is for a minute until I can figure it out. So that's what's going on with the room. The other thing I want to talk about is for those people that attended retreat in 2022. If you are planning to attend retreat in 2024, technically today is the last day for you to get your $100 deposit in. I still don't have prices for retreat. That's not coming until January. However, I had to sign contract with a blank fee so that we could have our dates before somebody else take our dates. So that's kind of what's going on there. So it'll be more information about that in January. Um, so that's it for retreat. Um, we're gonna do birthdays for December. It's gonna be the last time that I'm actually sending out gifts for birthdays. And I think, or a gift for birthdays. I think a pretty decent one for the last one. I try to send like a yard of fabric, so I'm doing something a little different this time. Um, I think what I will do is if people want me to still just say birthdays for December, not necessarily give the day, but just give the month that people are celebrating their birthdays, I don't mind doing that. But I won't be doing any more drawings. I've been doing this since October of 2020 and sending out sometimes more than one gift a month, sometimes two, depending on how many birthdays I had on my list. So, that's what we're going to do today. But first, we're going to talk about just a couple other things I got here. Is I have been collecting Crown Royal bags so that I could make a quilt. And I had right around, say, 124-ish bags. And then I went on Facebook Marketplace and I found a couple of people that were working in bars and they were actually selling bags. I paid a lot for about 80 bags. I paid about $1 a bag. But if you go on the Crown Royal site, you're going to pay more than that. And so I had already picked those bags up. And then in the interim, I saw where somebody else had bags where they were selling them dirt cheap because they probably had them so long, hadn't sold them. And so they were trying to get rid of them. And they were selling 20 bags for $5. And I'm like, I don't need any more bags, but I'm going to go ahead and get those bags from them too. So I had about 200 and now I'm at 342 Crown Royal bags. And I just wanted you all to know that I have already gone ahead the last couple days with my husband's assistance. We have washed all 342 bags that I have, and we have washed and dried them twice. So completely dried, then washed again and dried. I used detergent the first time on the first wash because, again, these have come from bars and smoke is one of my allergies. And so I just wanted to make sure that I wasn't dealing with um, something like that. So I just put detergent in the first time. And then I do have I got the numbers, okay, 217 purple ones, and they go from small all the way up to the large size bags. And I found out that old Crown Royal bags are now different than the new Crown Royal bags, and they feel different. And I have about like 5 or 6 different sizes, like 2 different sizes of medium and 2 different sizes of the large. So it's weird how time, changing vendors, probably a little bit slight difference in the color of thread. So it's pretty interesting to me. I like stuff like that. And then I got like the peach bags, and I like the peach bags because they have an actual peach on it. Thought that was really pretty. I don't know how that's going to work out with the size block, so I probably will not be using any of the peach because I'll be cutting through the peach emblem there. Then I've got some of the apple bags, and then this is actually the vanilla bag. So different flavors of Crown Royal. So I've got like 74 of the apple bags, 37 peach, and 14 of the vanilla. So I have washed them. The next step now is to start cutting them apart. And I wanted to just see what I could get out of a small bag for the actual project that I'm doing. And so I'm actually cutting these where they're going to be on point. And so I just eyeball center. I'm not going to sit there and try to get this completely centered. It's going to be whatever it is. um, and then I was able to cut 4. So this center square that I cut on point from the front on the small, I couldn't cut a square that I need. And so I cut 4 2-inch squares from the back. Now on the larger bags, and that's why I brought in some of the the larger bags. This is the bag that I feel like the texture and everything is different. They just feel different to me. I'm still going to use them all. But like on the sides, see, I can cut longer pieces here that I could possibly do like a piano key border or something with that. So that's pretty cool. And then I'll still have, once I cut out on point, it's probably going to go up a bit, but then I'll still have a good chunk up in here that I can still use. And then, of course, I'll get a lot of squares off the back here. And, I might just use all the small and medium bags first, is what I'm really thinking for this project. And then I might do something where I can use bigger blocks and using the larger bags because I got more room here on the side that I can probably increase the size of my on point square, which I think I said I cut 3.5 inches. I'm not sure if I said that, but this is 3.5 inches on point. So yeah. So I've been working with that. It's taken a while when you've got I had 2 loads because I washed all the purples by themselves in case they wanted to bleed. And then I washed all the other bags, which was about half and half. No, I had 2 loads of purple, and then all the other ones fit into the third load. So it was a lot, 6 loads of laundry to wash these bags. Brenda says, sounds delicious, that peach. That's funny. So yeah, so I've been wanting to make a Crown Royal quilt. My family, like, they dabble in Crown Royal. My family, the people that do drink, and I'm not a real drinker. My drink is Moscato. I barely have it. I'll drink a Bud Light if I'm out at a bar somewhere, which is very rare. I don't buy a whole lot of alcohol, but a lot of my family, they have like their um, liquor carts and stuff in their homes. And so they have all alcohol. So I've been collecting over the years bags from my family. And so that's how I kind of got up to the 120. But I had different colors. Wasn't sure if I wanted to use all colors, if I wanted to make a plan where I could use some of the colors, and then maybe I didn't have enough. So now I got enough. If I want to make all purple, I can make all purple. If I want to add in some of the green and vanilla, I can add those. The apple and vanilla bags, I can add those in. So it's just having choices. And so now I'm ready to go. So I just wanted to cut one of the bags so I can see what I could get out of a small bag, because the small bag is really, really tiny. And Jason says, I've seen a couple crown work quilts on Pinterest. Yes, and I'm just picking one. They did the chandelier pattern, which I think Missouri Star calls it the chandelier pattern. It's an old quilt block. I've seen it in my book. I think people have just renamed it. So I'm planning on doing that. And when you put the blocks on point, the when you put them on point, the if I don't put the block on point when I start, and then I put it on point, it's going to be tilted to the side. So I don't want it tilted to the side. I want it to read going straight through. So that's kind of what I'm doing. Even my husband's trying to figure out what's on this ring door. That was him. It's just cars on the street. I'm going to cut that off. And the notifications. All right. I forgot. Um, so trying to see, where did I leave off? Mhm. Oh, Bonita Nan says, did the Crown Royal quilt get started? No, I just cut one bag just so I could see what I could get out of a small bag, because I'm not going to be keeping small bags because I don't have any use. Even if I was just storing my pennies in them, I have no use for a bag that small. It is really, really tiny. Let me see if I got another small bag here. I've been moving stuff around. I don't think these are it. Nope, I got medium bags. I didn't bring any more small up here. But the small bags are super, super tiny. And this is like, they've got like two different sizes of the mediums. You can see where the apple one is a whole lot longer than the purple, but that's a medium. Both of those are medium bags. That's not a small. So yeah, but I'll be working with that, like maybe when I go out, instead of taking my sewing machine when I'm going places now, maybe I'll just take a few of these and then just cut while I'm out. So it'll give me a project that I don't have to take my machine out for. Um, Sheila saying her birthday was yesterday. Well, happy belated birthday. Lenora says, good evening, Mrs. T and Quilters family. Do you have to stabilize t-shirt quilts? I actually do stabilize t-shirt quilts. And I'm one of those people that I really technically want to stabilize these Crown Royal bags. I did spray with starch twice. I starched one side and then I let it sit, pressed it, and then I turned it to the other side and starched the other side as well. But I had a friend in May of this year. She was at quilt retreat, and she did the Crown Royal quilt, did the star one, and she didn't use any she used starch only. She didn't use any interfacing, because other than that, I would have been interfacing every last one of these things. So I'm just gonna go with the flow, not drive myself nuts, and go ahead and just cut these pieces. And I think what I will do is I'll draft it up in EQ so I can plan colors, if I, or see what it looked like if it's all purple, or see if I add some other colors into it. Like I said, I can't use the peach because um cutting the small blocks, I'm not going to have a whole lot of space to get the whole peach into the block. So I'll probably do a different pattern where I use the peach one so I can get the full peach in the middle. Hey, T. Roberts. Kathy D's Creative Chaos says, hello, fellow quilters. Lena says she made a Crown Royal quilt. That's awesome. Did you interface your pieces? Hey, Sharon Lewis. And Darcy says they got like 7 inches of snow on Tuesday. Girl, you can keep all the white stuff. I know it's coming for us, though. Kathleen Champ says, hi, T and everybody. Cabriolet Stay had to pop in and say, hello, howdy, y'all. Hope you had a blessed Thanksgiving. See you soon. So she just stopping in to say, all righty, Kathleen, have fun. Thank you. So yeah, so let's see. Oh, and then so I'm working on that. And then the Crown Royal bags. No, not the Crown Royal bags. The Missouri Star Quilt Company. That's why the box is up here, so I wouldn't forget to tell you the Stash or Pass is going to start. So what is Stash or Pass? I have the Missouri Stars Countdown to Christmas box, and I'm going to be opening up daily quick lives. I'm not going to be doing the hello shout outs and all of that. I'll tell you any information I need to relate in the top part of the video, and then I'm just going to open the daily gift. And at that point, I'm going to say whether I am going to stash it, which means I'm keeping it, or pass it. Well, who am I passing it to? I'm going to be passing it to one lucky Teaquilter. And I've been trying to figure out how to do online drawings. I found places that want you to pay. So I'm still trying to figure out how you all are going to enter. So it won't be ready for tomorrow. But I will be getting up how to enter. And then I'll be putting a link into maybe on my community page. I'll put the link for sign up for the Stash or Pass. But at the end, I'm hoping that whatever I'm hoping that I don't have anything in this box. I'm hoping that the Countdown to Christmas Jenny box is going to be everything that I ever wanted to have. And we talked about this last Wednesday, where I was telling people that, this is one of those things that everybody can't afford to purchase. I don't purchase things like this because I'm not a gambler. I'm very concrete in what I want and what I don't want. And I don't like wasting money. I'm not a gambler like that. I buy one lottery ticket when it's like $5 million or something, and I buy one ticket. I'm not one of those people that go buy $20 and $30 worth of tickets. I don't buy tickets all the time. I haven't even bought a ticket in 2 years or so. Okay. So it just goes to show you that I'm not really a gambler. So I don't like buying or purchasing things that are unknown. But I thought for the people that can't afford these type of boxes, I thought that I would go ahead and buy one this year because I can write it off on my business account. And then what I'm going to do is, since we're doing videos, I'm going to be stashing or passing. If I don't want it, it's going to go in this box. Now, at the end, if this box is empty or if I feel like there isn't enough items in this box, I am just going to add some things from around my house. Y'all know I got a few things around here. And we will be sending this box out. Now, I have had some spoiler alerts that told me in my video descriptions of last Wednesday that I'm going to need a box bigger than this for the pass. And I am just going to stay positive. I am not going to be upset either way, whether I keep one item or if I keep 25 items. I'm doing this. I have no expectations because I've worked my way out of those expectations prior to purchasing. I had a long time to think about it before I actually purchased the box. So I have no expectations. So I'm not going to be disappointed either way. But at the end, I am going to give you a recap of what my feelings are. I'm going to tell you what is the value of what I kept and what was the value of what I passed. So we're going to see which side's going to win by percentage and dollar amount. So I haven't made my grid yet. So I got to get busy on that after this live. So it's coming. I'm actually going to do the first one. I'm going to stay up and I'm coming back at 12:05. I'm not going to, again, do all the hellos and stuff, but I'm just going to come on 12:05, do a brief introduction to what's going on for day one. And I'm going to open up gift number one. I don't know what time I'm going to be opening up all the other ones. I might be sitting in here in my pajamas. I got pajama bottoms on now. They say party on the top, business on the top, party on the bottom, right? And but if I wake up and can't sleep and I'm like, well, let's go open that gift, I'm just going to open it. So just know to come back every day and check for whether it was a stash or pass. So I'm going to be in here at 12:05. I'm going to wait till right after midnight to do it. I wanted to make sure that YouTube didn't mess up my midnight if I put midnight. So I say, let's just put 12:05 and we're going to come back tonight. So let's see who else is here. People talking about the weather. I'm going to skip that. I gamble enough just getting out of bed. That's Luda. Hi, Claudette Bettis. She says hello to you and everyone. Um, Don Cunningham is here saying, hello, everyone. Running late tonight, but good to be here. Awesome, awesome. What one person likes, someone else doesn't. And that's exactly my point. And I said that Wednesday, that this box is suggestive. And that's why I don't buy things like that, because the things that I don't want, somebody else is going to love it. Like, and I made the example of, like, if I get a wood press, I already got specialty wood presses that I like. It has to be something really outstanding for me to keep it. If it's a wood press, it's more than likely it's going into this box. So it's suggestive. It's not that the wood press is not something that I don't want or could use. It's just that I have other ones, and so maybe I don't need another wood press. And technically, I could just re-gift all of this stuff to a friend because it's all new stuff. But I want to make it fun for the Teaquilters. I want, hopefully, somebody that couldn't afford the box in the first place, hopefully they'll win. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen. I'm just saying, this is one of those things that I'm just doing something a little different. And when I'm passing, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's a terrible item, or maybe, I'm one of those people, I tell y'all the truth, whether it's good or bad. And it could be something that I'm passing just because I don't need it. Other times it's going to be, if it's fabric and I don't like it, I will pass, because I'm not going to keep any fabric with all the fabric that I got in my house that if I don't like it, it's not going to stay here. That doesn't mean that somebody else doesn't like it. We all got different tastes. We're all at different stages of the quilt making process. It just depends on what it is. If it's a project, a little mini kit for English paper piecing, I might pass on that because I have a big project for English paper piecing and I haven't done it. So somebody that's never done English paper piecing, maybe a beginner project, something like that, might be good. Now, I'm not saying any of this stuff is in this box. I'm just giving you all some examples of things that I might pass on that are not necessarily a bad gift idea. It's just not something that I want at this time in my life. And I'm not keeping it if I don't see myself using it in the future. I'm not going to keep something that's like, oh, well, maybe 5 years or 10 years from now I could do this. It's like, no. That's not the point of this. I want to have some fun, and I want somebody to have some of this stuff. Tiffany is here. Hey, Tiffany of Tiffany's Quilting Life says, I just wanted to say hi to you since I haven't been here. I've been in home teaching, which I am doing now, so it's hard to step away from my student. Oh, okay. But I've been watching the replay. So awesome, Tiffany. I've been thinking about you. I thought maybe you were sick or something. So that's good to know. Quilt Gal says, well, this night I will be up with tea and everyone. That is funny. I need rulers. That's Luda. And then she says, and Mary says, those boxes are expensive. We talked about that before on Wednesday. So if you all missed all the information that we talked about on Wednesday, you can go in there and discuss it. I talked about that. And that's one of the reasons why I don't do stuff like that. But Janet Macro says, hello, T and fellow quilters. Hey, Janet. So that's my stash or pass, and reminder for you all to come back at 12:05. So I'm just going to sit this box right here. I got my label makers right there. So let's go ahead and do birthdays that I have on my list that submitted their birthdays to me via email as requested. And then I'm going to cut them off. I've already started the cut process, so I make it easier. So we've got, which is pretty weird that we get all the way to the 10th of the month before we get to birthdays. And then we've got 3 people who has a birthday on the 10th. We got Betsy Layton, Dee Dee Hanson, and Vanessa Howell Brown. So happy birthday. And the funny thing is, they didn't even know I was going to do this tonight because I normally do it on the first Wednesday of the month. And today is November 30th. I am fully aware of what day it is. I just want to get it out the way since it's my last time doing a gift draw. So happy birthday to Betsy, Dee Dee, and Vanessa. And then Melinda Carroll, birthday is December 11th. Suzanne Moore, her birthday is December 17th. Happy birthday to you and Melinda. Diane 57's birthday is December 18th. I didn't see her in here. Cheryl Bean's birthday is December 19th. So happy birthday to Diane and Cheryl. And Claudette Badd's birthday is in here. She was one of those spoiler babies. She was born December 24th. Almost made it to be a Christmas Day baby. So happy birthday, Claudette. And then Emily Zahoot's birthday is December 30th. So happy birthday to everyone. So I'm going to go ahead and just cut these apart so they fall into my container here. Had one that missed. So that way I don't have to write them. And then I'll just mix them up a little bit. And then I'm just going to move that over for a second so I can't see inside. Stir them up a little bit. Stash or pass. This will be so fun to do. Thank you, Miss T, for doing this from your business for us so we can see if this would be beneficial in the future to do. Yes. And I feel like every year it's going to be subjective to the next. So you're welcome, Tom. All right. I'm pulling out one name. I got to make sure it's just one. We don't want any controversy. Right here. Let's see. Oh, my goodness. I don't even have to pay postage, y'all. It's Betsy Layton, December 10th birthday. So, Betsy, girl, you won. You go, what did I win? It's actually a batik charm pack. It's 5-inch squares. You know how we normally buy all the charm packs that have all the colors? And then when we get ready to do a project and they say you need some lights, we never have any lights. So I actually went through Checkers and I ordered quite a few of these light background charm packs. And I just decided at the last minute to give that out instead. So this is more than what I would charge if I was giving you a yard of fabric. So I felt like this was a pretty good gift to be for our last one. So congratulations, Betsy, on winning the charm pack. And I'm going to open this and slide this name in here so I know who it goes to, so I don't forget. All right. So I always have issues with when I'm getting ready to do something, then I don't have the light batiks to go with it. So I thought that was pretty good to buy. Oh, Bonita Nance, your name was left off. Don't worry about it, girl. And she said she sent email. Somebody else sent email too? I thought I put them all in there, so it could be that I could have had to put stuff in on my database and then it didn't save it. And I don't think there was anything on the back because it would have printed on the back. But the back is empty. I'm just checking because it was at the bottom of the page. Send me another email, Bonita. It's okay. And she said she just sent one recently. And I remember that I had some and I put them in there. And maybe I had a spike, didn't save it or something. Hey, Francis Jackson. So just send me another email, Benita. I'm sorry. Angela Stringer is here saying good morning, TNT folk. And Dorsey's reminding people, if you haven't checked your thumbs up, please check it real quick. And Benita, when's your birthday? Just so we can know and tell you happy birthday. Post it in the comment section, please. And C Joy Creation says her birthday is December 2nd. Did you send it to me, C Joy, in an email? I'm gonna okay, and Bonita's birthday is December 30th. You know what? I did see your request, Remo JS. She's asking if I have African scraps. Technically, I don't because I haven't cut any kits. What I'm using is the scraps that I kept for myself, and they were already allocated to the projects that you all saw. The strip ones, I had that pulled aside for a while to do that. To do a strip project. And then when I saw that pattern in the book, I went ahead and used them for that. And then I'm also working on two other strip projects. So right now I don't have any African scraps because when I cut the bento box, it took exactly what I needed. I didn't make any scraps when I did the bento boxes. The only time I make some scraps is when I'm cutting the Take 5 kits. And then I'm having to figure out what my next quilt kit's going to be. And so I don't have any right now. Hey, Carrie Richard. Hey, Phyllis G. So yeah, so that's it for that. I will share with you what I'm going to be working on next. And I, technically could start sewing on it now, I guess. I'm working on a free pattern. And I don't even, do I have a picture of the panel? Nope. I don't even have a picture of the panel. I cut the panel up already, but when Kevin and I were on the All Missouri Shop Hop, we bought this rainbow pattern panel. And if you look at the white and just look at the background pieces of this panel, you can kind of just see that it's just like a swirling of rainbow colors in the background. And so I have already cut them into squares for that. Phyllis G is also reminding people to hit the thumbs up. And so is C Joy. And I'm actually going to be using white, so you can see the panel in the background with the print. And then in here, I'm going to be using white, the Moda dot squares. I think that's what this fabric is. I'm not really sure. So where the black setting these here, I'm using this white. And then I've got the panel cut, of course. And then for the print, I'm doing something wild. Instead of using like a black solid, it all just came out the bag. I'm going to use this floral butterfly-ish print. And that's like this. So, and I'm actually making this for someone who is of the gay community. So that's what I'm doing with this. I was just looking at this because I can't tell. It seems like when I hold the one way, the flowers appear to be right side up, and then when I turn it that way, the butterflies are right side down. So it doesn't have, it's directional in that you don't want to turn it to the sides, but up and down it doesn't matter. So that's what I was looking at. So I've got all of my pieces cut. I haven't sewed the final 2 seams on my Flying Geese quilt yet, but I'll be doing that off camera. because it's at the end of the thing for that. So I went ahead and just cut out my next project that I'm going to sew here on the sewing chats that I come back on Saturday nights at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. We do 2 hours sewing chat. So that's my next project ready to go. And Darcy, Bonita was asking to see the squares, and I didn't know that. So I've already showed the squares. And, you know, I can only show you, I'm not taking these out of order, and I've got them numbered. So this is like my first square up at the top. Like if I have this is the square that's over here, right here. So I've got my first one cut out. And the funny thing is I had, you know, I thought I wanted to go with the white, and most men told me that this should be black. And I'm like, that's too dark. And then it was funny because she does scrapbooking pages. So what I did was I went onto her page and tagged her on a Facebook stat and said, which one of these layouts do you like best? And she liked these fabrics best. And so that's what I'm going to make. But she has no idea that it's for her. I don't know if you all recall, once I made a Minnie Mouse quilt that was a commission quilt. And she is the one that requested that quilt to be a commission quilt. And I did it because she's a friend of mine. We were actually the two people that ran Girl Scouts. And she had 2 children, and then, well, she had 4 children. I'm sorry, 4 children. And she's got a lot of grandkids. So it was made for one of her grandchildren. And she loves Disneyland, anything Disney, and she loves Mickey. So that's her favorite character. So she did the mini because it was for a little girl. And so she paid me for that. And I even gave her a discounted rate. And she still paid me for it. And I was like, you know, I would have normally done that for her for free because she was one of those people that I've wanted to make a quilt for all this time. And I just have never gotten around to doing it. And so I'm glad that I waited now because her lifestyle has changed. And so now I'm making something that she can just use as a throw on her sofa or something like that. It's not going to be very big. Like, this pattern says this is a very small quilt because, like I said, it was made with a panel. It's a 50 by 70, so that's pretty small, but it's a nice size if you're just on your sofa or something watching television, that you can just throw over your legs if you cold. Now she lives in Arizona, so it's not going to be super cold. You know, she's doing this to get away from the AC at this point. And then knowing her, she'll probably end up hanging it on a wall or something. So, thank you. Bonita says super cute. Darcy says, I am starting to quilt with batik fabrics called Bubble Blues, and I'm making a pattern called Grid Work. So that's pretty cool. Ooh, that's going to be pretty. Well, thank you from Deanne and Darcy and Remo and Beverly. um, Deanne says, I just finished 24 cornhole bean bags, double layers of fabric and stuffed with rice. My dear granddaughters are having a carnival fundraiser in April for the library. Now that's fun. I've been wanting to make one, but then I see people make them out of wood, and they do a pretty good job, and they're not too expensive. So I've been trying to figure out if I want to do that. I think that'd be fun, something to do, at least get you outside in the sun in the spring part of the summer time, and get some, just get out there in the sun and grab up some vitamin D. And Bonita says, yes, I remember that quilt. Darcy says, I am a Disney nut. And Wash Your Hands says, I need some people who love Disney. I know some people who love Disneyland so much. They go every year. And that was her. She went every year. Took her family and all. We even raised money. I was the biggest cookie seller. And then my daughter decided when it was time for us to go to Disney the next year, she decided she didn't want to be a Girl Scout anymore. But I did take them to Florida, to Orlando, Florida, and we did like maybe a 4-night, 5-day excursion there. So she has been. It's one of those places that I want to go back to as an adult without having kids, because my favorite park was actually Epcot of all things. I don't really care. I at the time, I guess I would ride stuff, but it's not one of the things that make a park interesting for me. I felt like Epcot was the most interesting park to me. So I would love to go back and at least do that. Um, so yeah. So that's about it for me. If we got any questions, I can answer those. And I got all of this set up so I can sew, or sew it just by pulling the next piece that will go on to this. So I'm ready to start sewing this. So, and I'm putting all the other squares underneath so I know I got the top ones numbered. That's the only reason they're in here in any particular order. And we only got a few more minutes left. And I don't even have to mail this. This makes my life good. I save a few pennies, right? So, can anybody tell me what is it that you're going to be making for Christmas gifts for friends and family or other quilt people, for your crafty friends? Sandy says, T, did you get credit for the bold cozy die I bought? This is the thing. I have gotten a couple of things. If you don't tell me that you ordered, I don't know. When I get your order, it depends on how many items that you buy, as to whether or not I know exactly what you bought or what it's for. I don't go and research that because all they do is give me the die number, and I don't know every die number. And I don't know if I got credit for an order if you don't email me your order number and the date. Otherwise, I have no idea if you use my link or not. It's all on an honor system of the company. So that's the issue with being an affiliate. If people don't tell you that they used it, then I don't know if I got it. Now I have had a few people, a handful of people that have notified me via email that they placed an order with AccuQuilt, and then I go check it and verify it, and it has been there. I've only had maybe 2 times that somebody has told me via AccuQuilt that it wasn't there, and then both times that I did that, within 24 hours they had already credited to my account when I've given them the information from the person that placed the order. I have to have specific information in order for them to give me credit for that, and then they go back and look at your order and follow back your web browser to make sure that you did indeed use the link. And then if they find that it's true, then they'll give it to me. Because sometimes what happens, if you put it in your cart and you wait a day or two to pay for it, then sometimes the link gets lost, that I sent you to that connection. But otherwise, I have no idea, no way of knowing if anybody uses it or not. Let's see. Wash Your Hand says, I prefer Grand Canyon over Disneyland. I'm a tree lover. I actually love landscape too. I'm not necessarily a Disney lover, but I do want to go back to parks as an adult with no children. But I have a feeling I'm going to be having a grandkid the next time I go back. Selena says, T, I miss what you said you were sewing. The pattern, I can get you the pattern. It's called Color Shift, and it's actually free on Northcott's website, Northcott Fabrics. You can go get it for free. It's called Color Shift, and it's based on a panel. However, when something is based on a panel, you do know that you can cut any panel and do the same thing with any panel. So this is that quilt, Color Shift. I'm trying to get my fingers out of it as much as I can and still hold on to it. And then if you turn to the back, you can see it with a white background instead of a black, but it's still the same thing. Oops, they turned it upside down. There you go. But it's by Northcott Fabric, and it's online, and it's free. And this pattern was designed by Patty Carey of Patty's Patchwork, using her color play collection for Northcott. And I'm wondering, I think we bought some other panels of hers or something else that Northcott printed, but we're nowhere near ready for that. But I thought this one was easy. It's some things that I can sew. When stuff has got to be in a particular spot, it's a little bit more cumbersome when I'm sewing and chatting because I make mistakes because I'm sewing and chatting and recording and reading, trying to read the comments and participate. So I get a little bit messed up there, but I'm hoping I can do this one. How many days till retreat? That would be a Sue GSD question. We'll get an answer. I just now got to you pulling a name for the birthdays. Thank you so much. Still in Florida. Left my like, girl, you got to come home. She said she's still in Florida having a great time. That is awesome. I'm glad you taking a vacation, girl. Dee Dee says she just joined in. Sorry she's late. Hey, Dee Dee. And she says she makes fabric Christmas cards. And I've made that once, and I've even done the embroidered on cardstock on the embroidery machine. I've done that one year. Michelle says, my husband and I love to go to Epcot just to walk around. Haven't been to Florida for 3 years now. Yeah, and I think Epcot is just gorgeous. The way you can go through all the different nations around that circle, and then the parade that they used to have was just awesome. And so that's what I miss. I want to go see Epcot as an adult because that was the least favorite part of the parks. That was the least favorite part for my daughters, my daughter and my stepdaughter. That was the one they hated the most because it was not a whole lot of rides or things that they wanted to ride or things they wanted to do because the adults were all wanting to hang out and stay there forever. And then I was, of course, loving trying different foods and stuff. And we didn't even get halfway around because of the little whiners, So I think if I do go back, it's like, it would be one of those things where I'm going to take a day and I'm going to do what I'm doing. And I don't care what the rest of y'all doing. That's what I'm doing because I want to go back to Epcot. That's my favorite. Wash Your Hands is making bag pouches filled with soap. So that's a pretty cool idea. And then saying bag reminded me that I am making 2 bags that I have to have that people are using for Christmas gifts. So I did piece the tops and I just cut out the linings, and so I need to start sewing those. So I did get those cut, and I thought I would have those done like Monday or Tuesday because I didn't do anything yesterday because I was out most of the day. And then my whole days just got messed up. So I am working on that. That's like my last obligations of any of my customers. Everything else they said they didn't need for Christmas, so I've been kind of just pushing that back. I normally get quilts done in 30 days, but I'm like, if they don't need them, go ahead and finish what I got to get done. And I still got a quilt top that I'm going to be piecing for my 96-year-old quilter. She hasn't gotten that quilt top piece, and if she's wanting it by Christmas, it's like I need to just go pick it up and just put a border or 2 around a centerpiece of fabric and call it a day and just get it quilted. And at least the quilt's done for her to give to her latest, not last, her latest grandbaby. And she's trying to make sure she has quilts, that she's made a quilt for every family member before she should decide to part this earth. So, um, um, Remo says T mailed in with optional block. Okay. That was from Remo JS. And then Bonita says, I'll have the Alice in Wonderland quilt finished for my daughter. Not making anything else gift wise. So that's awesome. You've been working on that a while, and it's awesome. The parts that you have shared is pretty cool. And complicated, girl. You are determined. Sue is making a couple wild rags for my hubby, large neckerchiefs, and embroidered t-shirts. So that's cool. Guess who? Nancy says, hello, all. Dee Dee says, I found Night Flight as a standalone pattern on Etsy for under $2. Jason says he's making that quilt as well, T. Ain't that something? uh, Kevin bought a panel too, so he's making it as well. Because Kevin and I both, Kevin was the one was trying to get me to spend the money, and I wasn't paying him any attention. And then I said, I'll buy it if you buy it. And so then he went on ahead and bought it. So Kevin and I both have it. Hey, the quilting lady. She says, hey, T. Patricia Priest is here saying howdy and loving your programs. Thank you. I just was looking at your name today. You'll know soon why. I was just looking at your name. Deanna says, I'm going to start 2 Harry Potter quilts for granddaughters tomorrow. Wow, I spent $65 just on 1/2 yard pieces. That's with the sale price at Joann's. Yeah. It adds up very quickly, and $65 for 2 quilts is really a good deal. Buying fabric sometimes for a quilt can be $200 as a minimum, and fabric prices are going up again and again. I don't know if you all have noticed, it used to be like $12 for fabric, and now we're like $13.49 for fabric. And I'm saying $12 like pre-COVID. And I remember when I first started quilting, I think I was paying like $7.99 a yard for fabric when I started quilting. Prices didn't go up as quickly as they're going up now. They keep using the cotton industry as part of the problem, but even when we're out of the problem, the prices never go back the other way. That's their concern. Hey, Sherry Willingham, saying hi, everyone. Francis Jackson says, T, my optional block is in the mail. I had issues at the post office. They wanted to charge me almost $8 to send my block. I ended up buying postage and putting it in the mailbox for $1.44. Now, that is weird. It's like they were trying to send your package priority mail, because even first class mail would have been $5-ish. It could be 4 something, it could be 5 something, depending on what state you're sending it from and to. So that's kind of weird that they were trying to have you send that priority. That's weird. Sandy says she's working on her Brightly Out of Tees African kit. You did send me an email. I have not checked any emails in a long time, like the week before Thanksgiving almost. So, yeah. She was asking me if I had some of that burgundy fabric, and I seriously doubt if I do, because I remember I had to order some because my niece wanted me to make her a quilt, and it was a different color burgundy. At the time, I didn't know where my Kona cotton color card was, and so I don't have any right now. But I don't think I do, but I'll double check for you, Sandy. Girl. Yeah, I got a lot of emails. I get a lot of emails. And then when I'm not home or I can't do what you're asking, because that's a whole lot. I have to go, that's a whole nother storage issue, going to different places in my house, because I don't keep solids available because I don't use them all the time. When I'm using solids, I have to go downstairs into my storage area and get the solids. Certain fabrics are not up here. And then I forget. Deborah Sims Brown says, making exploding heart for my niece and bow cozies for my neighbor. That's awesome. And I saw a lot of people were saying that they had bought the bow cozy too. They were even showing that they were making bow cozies, posted it in the Facebook too, a couple of you all. Francis says, maybe she was having a bad day. I didn't want to argue, so I bought postage. Ain't that something? I heard some Joann's are closing. Really? I haven't been into Joann's like I normally would. I probably have been in Joann's maybe twice, if that much, this year. I have ordered once or twice online, and then sometimes I go online, put the stuff in the cart, and then the prices don't line up right, and I just back out. So maybe I've I don't know. I'll just say I went once and probably ordered once online. So I'd say probably 2 times for somebody that used to go there minimum of once a month and sometimes twice. But you can get so many things online now. And Joann's, just, I'm thinking it's because of what they're going through too, that they haven't been able to give to me the same type of sales that they would normally give on the past holidays. Because I looked at their holiday sales and it was nothing spectacular for me that I needed or wanted. Don't check. I misread the pattern. It's all good. Okay. All right, great. And Helena Marie Carter says, went to a fabric store closing sale. First fabric was $1 yard. Then final days, 25 cents a bolt. Now that's pretty cool. So yeah, and even when we had the shop that went out of business here, I did not go back, even though I knew that the fabric was cheap and all of that. I just wasn't going back to her shop because of her behavior. And I'm like, this is why some stores are closing. You got bad customer service. And Sherry wants to know if some of the Joann's are closing or all. I think she said some up at the top. I've heard that too. Not sure which ones. I don't go there a lot, but they're nice to have around. Yeah. And the one that was closest to my home, they closed years ago. So I always gotta go on an adventure where I need to get a snack and a drink to get to Joann's. Okay. So they are okay. They were never my first choice. They were like for the things that I couldn't get, like other crafty things that I might use in my quilty or crafty side, like my t-shirt making, stuff like that. If I needed it right then I might go there. So they were just not, they stopped being my first choice when they moved too far away from my house to be that quick, let me go run and get this and come on back. So Phyllis loved the remnants. Of course you do, Phyllis. And Sherry says where she is, they're kind of far away too. So they used to be very convenient. I had one that was within 5 minutes of my job, within 5 minutes of my house. And the one that was 5 minutes of my job, it closed. The one that was 5 minutes of my house closed about maybe 10 years later. It took 10 years in between, but both of those are gone. And it's like I have to plan an excursion to go to Joann's now. So I pass up 3 or 4 quilt shops before I get to Joann's. Okay. So, T, when will you draw December birthdays? I sent you an email. We just did that earlier today. Your name was in there. You were not the winner, Diane 57. I did that. Phyllis says she spent $14.65 for 4.5 yards of remnants, equate to $3.28 per yard. So that's a good deal. And that's kind of when I was doing those estate sales and I was doing it by the pound. I'm like, y'all making, we were doing like, I don't know, like $5 a pound and like 2.5 to 3 yards of fabric, depending on the company, the manufacturer. It's like you were getting almost 3 yards of fabric for $5. That's cheap. So we were trying to just move it along. So, and she says it was all 100% cotton. See, and I just don't have the patience. Sometimes I can go, like if I'm not interested in buying anything off the shelves, then I can go hang out at the scrap bins. But if I need other stuff and then needing to go to the scrap bin, I won't do it. So if I go with a friend or something to a store and they got the scrap bin, like when we were in Missouri Star where we saw Phyllis attack a scrap bin, um, I didn't even put my hand in that scrap bin. I had already had in my head that, I was at that point where I had just, planning the full retreat, getting stuff done at the last minute. I was kind of exhausted. Shopping was the last thing on my mind. We had come back from the quilt museum, so I had already had information overload from the quilt museum. And then here come this scrap bin. I didn't have the time of day for that scrap bin. But I enjoy watching Phyllis. She is too funny. I saw her in 2 different scrap bins on the retreat. So that was pretty cool. She said, you were tired, T. Yep. And when I'm tired, I just back up. And it's not that I'm not interested. I think it's because I told Phyllis what was going on, because Phyllis didn't even know it was happening. I'm like, girl, you missing it over here. So, but I just sat down and watched Phyllis, and I got joy out of doing that than me being in there doing it. But she had some great deals that came out of there, out of both of her scrap adventures. She had some great deals. So, but yeah. So guys, it is 8:14. I'm late. I'm gonna go cook my dinner. Y'all know I'm on a different schedule. I'm gonna go cook my dinner, and then I'm gonna come back at 12:05, and I'm gonna do the first gift for the Stash or Pass right here. Stash or Pass, the Missouri Star Quilt Company. And matter of fact, I got the box right here. So let's just go ahead and see if I can pull out the first number one. I thought number one was in a box. So I can already have it out and don't know this is number 8. That is not going to work. Here is number 1. All right. So we got number 1. Ready to go, making sure I got it up right. So we'll come back and do this 12:05 for those that are up. If you're not up, don't worry about it, because I'm not going to be doing shout outs for those that came in late. I'm just going to open it so that these videos can stay as short as possible. I can make a decision about pass or stash. Got the box here, and then we're going to move it on from there. And I got to also make that grid, the sheet for me to, put the suggested retail price and whether I'm stashing it or passing it, so I can keep track for the whole year. So good night, everybody. You all take care. Stay blessed. Be safe. Quilt out. See you at 12:05. Bye-bye.